that game, and the same could be said for M80 as they ended up beating Team Sacred. Both of those games happening here at the 6th Invitational. Now they're both lined up across from each other inside of this best of 3 that has reached the ultimate limit here. The last map. So we see who can possibly claim it, push themselves further on into this bracket. This is the second game of the day here for W7M. Effectively, I do believe their 6th map as well, if I'm not mistaken. We'll
Indeed it is.
Yep, BDS's sequence went 2-1, so yes, this will be the 6th map here for W7M as we get things started.
And the ban's already rolling. Ace being the hard breach that'll get banned out this time around here just because of his ease of access. Make things a little bit more involved for whoever's going to pick up that mantle on M80. And of course, W7M sides when we switch halves. Ying, as she's pretty much been banned out every single map so far in this series, and it still makes perfect sense for this map. And then finally, Solus and Valkyrie remain the bans this time. So we're going to swap the Azami for the Solus. And that means Azami will be left in play for the second map in this series.
We'll be seeing her more than likely for a lot of the positionings downstairs, as well as, you know, gym bedroom / CCTV for the garage paneling. We usually see built up for rafters. So Church Arsenal going to be adopted. Azami will rotate her way in. She'll probably be played in like 80% of these rounds here, I would assume. So see what W7M want to do with this basement setup. They've got the mirror in play, so expect a couple of soft walls around, and for them to try and play out via these. This is something that we saw them do pretty well when it came to border. This is going to be a lot more tight-knit, though. Don't have nearly as long of angles to try and adopt that in. This mirror window not going to be used on the main wall, assuming one will be used here at the dummies box. We see Julio currently right now, but excited to see how they want to try and utilize these going forward.
Create a bit of an annoying angle to play against here. If we do see some action from M80 trying to get themselves to the inside of blue. We'll see how that all transpires, of course, once they reach that pivotal execute point. For the rest of W7M, you're gonna see that position boosted too a little bit. We see some zombie barricades going down onto either side. That will create a little bit of a winged defense setup if they want to try and slow things down on the M80 clear. Speaking of which, they have now spawned out. Nitro is prepped from KZ. There's gonna be some pre-fire in the window too. If it goes away outright, he could chuck it there, but the time for that is unfortunately long gone. Backs away from that position relatively quickly, and it looks like everybody except for one is going to rejoin the actual basement defense. Still have one player out on their lonesome, and it's gonna be Herds actually. It looks like continuing to roam around there on the first floor, causing some problems. As you see, JV92, to correct myself, just a bit deeper there on the inside of Dirt Tunnel, with everyone now locked in here to the basement.
Well, as to be expected for Clubhouse, M80's basically a secretary. It's a lot of process work. Got to roll the numbers, John. Start punching that calculator. So we're gonna break up the flooring, get this hard breach done, and we have to do it all without dying to the multitude of nitro cells and explosives that W7M have at their disposal. M80 rather, the ones getting the hatches open now. Kino looking to pick up a very common angle when it comes to the hatch work here for Kitchen. Just repel on this window. You can go upside down or what have you. And also past that, you can see he's applying these in a 2-set and not a 4. It takes 4 to open up these hatches, but he's doing this because he wants them to use their impacts. You see JV92 had to burn up both of his impacts just to get a set of 2. And Wilkino, he's still got 12 in his pocket.
So eventually he's able to work his way into a position to open up that hatch. Spirits here knocking the barricade out of the way as well, since the Azami's going to try to reinforce some of this paneling and just get in the way of the angles that M80 will want to set up here. JV92 will throw that one down also to prevent W7M from having a kind of winning shot into the depths of the arsenal there. Is that in the way? Now that we're down to that final minute, it does look like M80 is preparing for the drop to get themselves into basement and start to push forward onto the actual site. KZ, the players from W7M still stand directly into the way of this. A nice angle spotted out by KZ here. Catches Spirit before he's even ready to drop back down there. Has him while he's up on top, and then realizes that someone else may want to try to go to this angle to refrag. So he's like, hey, why don't I try to pre-fire here again? Gets himself another kill. Vault is also having some similar success. So he is able to take down one more player. Gomez successfully breaches past the veil. However, over in blue and Yaga will find a similar pick. Back over by Moto. Won't be able to take it much further than that, though, as JV92 has the read on the rotate. Gets the pre-fire going through the panel. trailing and ends this round outright in W7M's favor. They strike first here to win the first round of the map.
What a perfect round from W7M and some mismatched utility going down inside of blue. Big misplay there from the Thatcher. They tried to EMP things out, and it worked for the blue side of things, but the EMPs didn't reach far enough to really affect anything over by Dummy's box. And my discs were still on when they went for the nades. They tried to clear that out, but obviously KZ had already repositioned himself when that second frag grenade poured in. It was the first one that they really needed to land, so that's what led to the downfall of M80 as they put their faces in the hatch and immediately get decapitated from KZ's MPX.
Let's see if W7M can continue their defensive rampage just overall inside of this series. W7M probably feeling pretty good about the fact that they got the start on this side, given the way the series has played out so far. Neither team really having a winning formula for the attacking side. Start to see W7M kind of piece things together towards the tail end of map number 2. Really just getting that composure then and there. We'll have to see if that strength will be found once again. Close out. Actually got a few more rounds when they switch sides, but I'll also have to wait and see if M80 has learned anything, of course, as they're thrusted right onto that disadvantageous side. Can't necessarily rely on their defensive play to win things anymore, as we saw back in map number 2. So they're going to want to try and pick up at least a couple rounds here, 2 at the minimum, in my guessing, to try and make sure they stand a chance when the side flip happens. Assuming, of course, that W7M are looking to try and dominate the defensive half of this map again.
Exothermic off here on the main panel. Nothing doing for W7M. No bandits down or anything of the sort. Actually surprised that KZ stuck himself in this situation. He's stuck here. He's forced at least Yaga off of that position, but gave up a lot of his HP in order to accomplish it.
Gomez trying to go for a swing up above. Having to wait things back here. The rest of the team not in position for that type of success just yet here. Still very early days as far as this round is concerned, so we're a bit of a ways off bringing that follow-up action. The rest of the team definitely positioned for garage control, and on top of that, the play at their main balcony too. It's Yaga to strike first here, finding KZ out. Putting M80 on the right foot forward here. So I believe he catches him over in that garage catwalk. That should open up the catwalk too for the rest of M80 to potentially push into, but I'll correct myself again here. It was not the entire piece of it. As expected, you're going to have the Azami put into position on top of this garage catwalk, and she will be the primary defender for this part of the map. W7M still going to be able to maintain it because of that, and M80 will still have a bit more work to do, it seems here. Even a flank position way down in the basement there that we're just going to catch thanks to the Observer. So still have some potential for Herds to leap back into the fray here as well and slow down the plans from M80, if not shut them down outright. Goes unnoticed here. Creeping over towards oil pit though. That could be dangerous as he, I think, has sent out a shot or two, so that's going to give him away down below.
Ludicrous position here from W7M. JV92. That would, oh wow, so much damage still via the hip fire. Your Hurts. This is so close. I know he can get the fight up against Kano, but he can't. No pre-fire, John. No will there. Now W7M, 2 versus 4, make it a 2 versus 3 as Volps quickly dispatches Kino. Still so much time, and W7M have a leg to stand on. Still have Julio here with a smoke, so they can prevent for at least some time. No drones for M80. 2 drones on, but are those in good positions? That's the real question. Impact out, won't be able to get the exothermic. Now the back panel open here for Diaz. Cross established, and the players here. Here we go, big plant time. Smoke out, preventative maintenance. I don't think it'll land. Diaz will go down, actually it will. They have to try and hop too. They have to take the gunfights. Yaga's down, Gomez is stuck. He has to rotate in towards Julio, who's on green box. Has to take the fight up against the shotgun, but no time. Around we go inside of Cash, and W7M win it again.
It doesn't matter how one-sided the round may look. If the team is on defense, do not give up on them, as they very well may still stand a chance. As we see here, Volp starting to come back. The fumble on the plant spurs the rest of the clutch onward as W7M absolutely steal round number 2 directly out of the hands of M80. Beautifully played by them to go back into a controlling position for it. And now still excelling on this defensive half. They go to the final point of their rotation over here into the gym bedroom site to see if they can lock in a third round. M80 was at least flashing the Glads play again, which would make sense here because of the amount of window overwatch he can establish, but we are going to see a repick already to move away from that one over onto the Yana instead from the looks of things.
Interestingly enough here for M80, 100% win rate in recent history on Clubhouse, but the same cannot be said for W7M. Have a, what was it here? 60% win rate with 5 plays as of late, but that's not all in 6 Invitational. A lot of their losses actually coming from a team that is also here and one that resides in their region, Liquid, as their 2 losses on the page are actually from them. So doesn't mean the W7M can't take the series outright, though, as they've had for at least 2 rounds so far. Round 3 now on the docket. And they're going to be extending all the way out over towards the eastern side. The rotation made for the top of Cache. This is something that we see teams flirt with every once in a while, and it's usually followed up with a deployable shield, as we'll have this time. No ADS is in the area, but don't really need it. This is just to make it to where Julio's position is even more annoying to deal with, as there's going to be constant crossfires from members from W7M playing in towards M80 once they try and clear out those positions. Do we have the Thatcher work in? We do indeed. So Yago will help process the wall. Diaz awaiting his arrival. Once we get this going, they'll have the Jacuzzi wall pretty handedly. Unless Hertz can stop it. Gonna have the bandit trick active here. Only frag grenades on Gomez. How does this play out? Oh, they're gonna go for the map trick instead. So smart here from Spirits. But can't go for the old tried and true, can he, John? The Nitro cell rip for Hertz. You see Spirits, he's worried about it as well.
Backs up for just a moment. Do the same thing again now that he's opened up something down below. Does not want to give away an opportunity for that Nitro to potentially come out against him here, so only just going to lock in the elimination of that bandit battery. Doubles back afterwards, relying instead on the Thermite to pop this one open for himself and the rest of his team. They've got the avenue, but now do they have a secondary angle with which to boost this initial one and get themselves into the site? Otherwise, Keys is more than ready to shut down any direct swings the team will look to go for here. And even better than that, can just shoot out these attempts to hard breach their way in directly. So that's going to keep the bandit position nice and stable.
Impossible situation for M80 at the current moment. So low on time, nobody's rotated over to the eastern front. Everybody's on the roof right now. They're going to drop off onto the master balcony side. They'll keep Kino over on Jacuzzi, but now the kill's coming through for W7M. M80, they've done this way too slowly. W7M, not only that, have now used that to its fullest advantage. 2 big kills. Even if this goes wrong for JB92, he's still wasting time. They're all stuck over here now. He's got Julio waiting in the wings as well. He'll just run back downstairs. A lot of damage off onto Diaz. Kino almost dead now, and he will go down. Diaz works his way in. Yaga here as well for CCTV. W7M, they haven't even given up a body yet, John. Decisive work here on Clubhouse. M80, they might need the tack timeout yet again.
And it's looking likely as it's going to be a flawless one from W7M as well. Here's the problem, those tack timeouts have not necessarily translated into any immediate success for the players on this attacking side. So they still might end up going for it. It's their play style. It's the way they've tried to operate up until this point. We're going to see now if the call comes in for it. But at the moment, we're just going to keep on trucking. Not looking like we get it this time.
I'm really interested because I could have sworn to God I saw the W7M coach flip his mic down, but I guess he probably just assumed the same thing as us. It's like, oh, it's got to be coming. But
yeah, he probably thought M80 were going to call it and just kind of prepared for it, but much like we did. But just did not end up happening. And honestly, I think this is the right call. I don't think that calling for a pause right now is going to necessarily change anything up. M80 very much set in their ways. I think the adjustments they will make are minimal at best, so need to keep on trucking here until the coach can potentially come in here and interrupt the play style entirely.
Oh, some rough waters ahead for M80 given that circumstance. W7M, full site rotation success so far. Now it's back to base. It's back to the basement. See if they can do it yet again here. Very successful positioning from W7M the last time, most notably for the likes of KZ as he was playing around Dummy's box. M80 not able to dislodge him from that spot as the frag grenades not really hitting their mark, weren't able to get the EMPs to go off on the Wamai discs in the way that they wanted. And now W7M, 3 rounds, 2 past that one that we just mentioned. M80 back at the very beginning. They went down all of the chutes here in chutes and ladders back to the very start of the map. So see what they can get done now here entering round 4.
It's going to be a slow roller as usual from M80. just kind of lost the confidence to go for any type of early dash plays against these W7M setups. They have not really led into a whole lot of success. They've got to play things out methodically and proceed with their map clearage in the same exact fashion. Thankfully, once more, since we are at the basement, not a whole lot of that clearing to be done. W7M is back in the bunker. Everybody committed fully to the basement there, so we'll see them all continue to latch on to that. That means that M80 have really all the time in the world to try and set up for that successful execute. Whether they'll be able to follow it through is, as usual, the big question. And unfortunately, we're not going to see too promising of a start from it here. As Spirits is dropped down, I believe on the inside of Kitchen here is where he will be found out through a top-down angle. Oh, actually, yeah, it's going to be very awkward too, man.
Wow.
That's super unfortunate with the way that pans out. A little bit up from Kitchen, but in the area at least, yeah. So he goes down just beyond that soft breach panel there.
Oh my!
The Nitro perfectly timed from KZ. That one's going to get Yaga. And now with those two players dead, we're gonna have to see. Still both of the hard breaches left up, so hatches can still be open. It's not impossible for M80 to turn this round back on its heels, but considering the minimal damage that's also been done to W7M and the fact that W7M are now just wildly peeking into these hatches, it's not looking that great right now. Gomez decked down to half of his HP. Kino basically in the same spot. This is looking bleak right now for our attackers.
Rocking a hard place now for M80. KZ making it even more so, down to the 2 versus 4. The shotgun playing tight on the Moto door. Stuns in, Volp's forced off, but no real play available to Diaz. No way for them to open this wall either. It's gonna have to be the funnel play. So far so good here for M80. They're somehow managing to play this out. Inside of the 2 versus 3, a nice pre-fire will take down one of the members of W7M. Kino finds a position upstairs. He can drop into the site if they can try and maintain this cross. Those ones on dummy, but he can't win the fight. And now Herds and the rest of the squad can take it immediately to Diaz's home, right to his place, address and all. W7M 4-0, and finally the tag timeout comes through.
Yeah, unfortunately splitting up there at the tail end of it, for me at least, really sealed the deal. We had that kind of like a zombie Fortnite wall built in the middle of the hall. Stack 3 of them on top of each other.
Homie just built a 90 panel right there.
We got a attack break coming up here from M80. Let's take a listen though.
If you guys cannot do that, let's do a cash over. Do a cash over, default, bro. Just what we need to do, bro, to work, you know? Let's do, if it's gym, let's do cash over. If it's cash, I think they're gonna fight with all the zombies there. Let's go to the other side, bro. Let's go to the other side. Don't fight the zombie, bro. Let's go to the other side, okay? Yeah. That's it. And if it's bar and they're playing like this, bro, if it's bar, let's rush. Let's play the Kaebi and plant fast, bro. Let's plant flash on the door, you know? Someone enter secret, hold everything in lounge, and they're gonna plant fast, calling the Kaebi, okay? One guy stay on the highway, okay?
Yeah, I get it.
You think?
Pues,
Alright, it's gonna be...
probably gym or bar.
No, it has to be CCTV or bar.
So M80, not entirely certain about where we're going to see the site play out.
I was going to say, well, one of them was right.
Yeah. So 3 different guesses going out there. So not going to get that rush. That would have been fun to see, as I know that it was being described for the bar play, but W7M goes for the cash pick up instead here. So it's going to be a little bit more of a traditional clear from M80.
Nice little mention there from Vivas, saying, hey guys, we have options. You don't have to try and be bullheadish. You don't have to try and go for the initial play. If they want to try and have a full-on aggressive defense towards the one angle you're working, just go to the other well. Try and work it from another angle. We'll see if M80 can try and take any of that advice and apply it through round 5. They only have 2 rounds to really adapt that into their play here. But it'd be 2 big rounds as they really need it at this moment in time. W7M, the first time that we saw a 5-1 split, not able to actually close it out on border. But the second time on Oregon, well, they made their presence known. They took that one 7-3. You do not want to give a squad with this caliber of players on it this big of a lead.
M80, one of their last chances now to make an impact in the first half. Otherwise, W7M will once again dominate, as they have been for the previous 2 maps in the first half as well. Always getting those defensive starts. It's giving them a little bit more of an advantage to play on. It's now M80 on the back foot of things yet again, potentially relying on another one of those miracle comebacks that, yes, they achieved it back in map number 1 over on border, but replicating that success is nigh impossible. And at least for me, I have never seen comebacks of that nature occur twice in one series. We'll have to see what kind of strength M80 has to continue this play, moving deeper into it. We're going to see a cancel of the initial attempt to pop things open. Diaz.
Oh no.
Timing's deep a little bit here.
Oh no.
The battery's going down, and he's actually going to back up. He could have placed it on the right one as that was shot back out. Should have been able to get away with it, but never mind.
Just didn't commit, John.
Yep. The good news is he still has both of his charges, but
That's the problem. Gomez still only has one EMP.
Yep.
Oh, M80, right after attack timeout. This is the play that we get? This is bad.
So
this wall is going to be completely sealed up for practically this entire time. Need this. This is the answer right here. Spirits has to land these nades.
One really sitting on the other side of it. He's going to try to play them up from top-down angles. First one goes in. This one will actually take down.
Look at this time, John. Minute and a half in. That's how long it takes to get the CCTV wall. That is terrible timing from M80.
And he's a nade to get it done as well, basically brute forcing back the Bandit after wasting out the large majority of their EMPs. Still with another one to chuck into the site itself to trip up any inner site utility that would be attempting to slow this team down. We don't really have a whole lot of it, to be honest with you, save for magnets as well as pests. So things will still proceed pretty much according to plan for M80, regardless of if we see that impact landing or not. Big wrap from Hertz as well. Construction is just wide open for the taking. The only saving grace, he doesn't get the outright confirmation, so maybe we see Kino brought back up here. However, y'all got way too concerned with the player in Logi itself here. He's got to take him down first and can't get it. Diaz does find a follow-up exchange onto one of the members of W7M, but I mean, I can't even finish my sentence. It falls apart so quickly. Hertz with one final kill. W7M seal the deal on round number 5. They have got it again at guaranteed minimum. Another 5-1 half is going to happen.
Yeah, W7M trying to give M80 an early bedtime here in game 3. 5-0, no tack timeout remains for M80. This is looking like it could be a perfect half. M80 did try to apply themselves in the way that Viva said, though. They tried to work their way around the map. The key factor to that entire round there was the fact that it took them literal centuries in siege time to get that CCTV wall open. It never takes that long, and the fact that M80 had that much miscommunication about the EMPs and the thermite play and, you know, the X-Kairos going down, you have all of these things at your disposal, but yet you're still not able to get a single portion of that wall open. It's just inexcusable in that situation.
It's rough, to say the least, now for the M80 roster, as once again they are tripped up by that in an attempt to reposition their players, establish some presence over at construction. They are not able to drone out Logi, where a member of W7M is allowed to get away with multiple kills. A supporting teammate comes in from Cash to help out with that even further after one is traded down. It just builds on itself as W7M takes more of an advantage. They double, if not triple down on those positions to ensure they can push that advantage as far as humanly possible, and it is creating a lot of issues for M80, especially in that late round yet again, where W7M has finally been able to make some corrections. Still struggling a bit at that same phase of the round on their own personal attacks, but that doesn't even matter right now when they are leading the way they are. Unless that comeback energy comes in once again for M80 like we were seeing on map number 1, we are seeing W7M put themselves quickly on a path towards shutting this down in 2-1 fashion.
Yes, indeed. M80, some absolutely amazing players, but you can just tell the prowess of W7M here. Again, this is their 6th map, folks, and they look like they are well-rested, just had a nice breakfast. Truly incredible what they've been able to produce so far. Between DS Spirits and Yaga, they are 3 and 15 on this map. Amazing, amazing stuff from W7M. M80 now looking to try and garner a singular round, a participation trophy practically if they're able to get it, but they need it. It'll be the only cushion between W7M and victory.
Main balcony wall going to be opened up. Does not guarantee anything as of yet, however, M80 still need to clear out the player actually on the inside of Cash. This is just an access point as far as they're concerned. Nitro gonna go through. And
oh my god, no!
What?
What? That was a nuke! That was a literal nuke!
I think he walked directly into it there as he was opening up the wall. He thought he was gonna hop, and then the exact circumstance transpires. Beautifully timed there to be able to pick that one up. Player who chucked it is gonna lose their advantage now, though, as JB92 does get traded back out, but beautifully swung. I believe that was Julio there. Sends that one out and knocks down Spirits.
Yeah, Spirits, one of our French Canadians, says bon voyage. He's blown sky high. KZ able to at least seal the panel up. W7M looking so strong, even though they're down JV92. They've set a precedent. And it's scaring M80 at the current moment. It feels like they could make any mistake and the entire game could just fly out of their hands. You can see just how confident W7M are at the current moment. A stun in here from Kino, and he's going to go for the swing. Tries to get the man off the mirror as well. Yago with the big kill here. M80, they've still got some fight left. Wolves, what an angle here. Prone on the floor of Master. Gomez steps wrong, he dies, but what an angle! Gomez adopts it, rips the head off of Volps, and this is what they need! W7M, they can't get it done. Julio, 5-0 since the rehost. Really can't get much going here.
10 seconds to go.
Oh. Rotates around John, but not able to get it done. Finally, a death for him. Vebus hype after M80 are finally able to garner a round, and it looked like W7M's all over the board until M80's angles from this outside position, especially for Gomez, light up the world, and it keeps him alive.
So 3 maps in a row now. We have had a 5-1 W7M scoreline to start things out. First map rather, unable to capture it. Allowed M80 to bring it all the way back into overtime. And then M80 still closed it down, completing the comeback. Same fate did not transpire on map number 2, however. Yes, it did take a few rounds, but ultimately W7M were still able to lock it down relatively quickly, with 7-3 being the final scoreline. Now, let's see if they can improve that one step further. Goes without saying at this point, but 2 out of the next 6 now need to be claimed here by W7M, and the series will be theirs. For M80, what can they bring to bear here? We need that big comeback energy yet again, but I'm just not sure if we'll get that much out of them.
Well, John, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. M80 has a road ahead of them. They're ready to ride that road. 5-1 half for W7M, nothing that M80 hasn't dealt with before. Made quick ordeals out of what we saw on Border. Now, looking to do it again on Clubhouse. It all starts with this basement defense. The Electro Shuffle being performed on the Moto Hash. We'll see how successful that is. Have the EMPs in play for JV92, so if worse comes to worse, should be a pretty straightforward ordeal.
Gonna be pretty light on early round activities, though. Due to the fact that M80 are playing things back so much. Volps quickly knocking out Kino. Oh no, did he try to... He did. He tried to hold back the dirt push, it looks like there. Maybe he just caught retreating. Maybe he was in a bad position when it got open. I was thinking we didn't see it on camera, but...
Kino is a man.
That's,
he might be kind of a dumb man in that situation, but he's definitely a man.
That's probably one of the worst operators to go down this early. That's the smoke. All 3 of the toxic babes and most of the delay potential's now gone. Spirits will be beaten out here in his attempt to trick things on Moto Hatch. That's going to be open now.
You know what's worse about that? That's the spot as well. Like, dirt position for smoke is so amazing if you can keep it for the late round, because a lot of teams like to plant right under kitchen hatch in that little dark corner.
So unfortunate there, as he will not be able to maintain that due to the direct clear that comes in from W7M. Good advanced read to be able to shut him down from that position. Now puts the rest of M80 in a not so great spot. We'll have to see. W7M still need to move forward with the confidence to actually make their way into the basement. Oftentimes, that's the point of the round where these teams will fumble a little bit. That'll give our defenders an opportunity to bounce back. Something that we very much need to see M80 do. An immediate 6th round. He's going to be the beginning of the end here for M80. So need to put their feet down right here on the basement setup. This is the one we'd expect them to close out on too, as this is the bread and butter that most teams' defensive halves on this map. For M80, it might just be a little too much here as we do boil down to that last minute. W7M seem pretty much ready to go to work their way in.
Oh.
There's Volts just going to push it too. Herd commits to the outside of this one. He will get spotted. Gomez as well will catch his teammate trying to move in behind him. That'll be Herds falling first. Equalizes us now down to the 4v4. Moto's going to get blocked, at least initially here, but there's no problem for JV92 to drop down and wait for a player to cross his angle anyway. 30 seconds to go. Still no serious movement being made by W7M. Will only reach the edges. Now getting into the site. Oh, what a flick there from Volps to get back control of that fight there. Wins it out, but it's still M80 controlling the overall fight and shutting down the play from Moto to put a definitive statement forward and show that they are here to survive for at least a little bit longer in the second half.
A misstep from Kino early, but M80 good for it as they clean up W7M on the entry. No real point for them to try and get a foothold on either, as Moto definitely wasn't it. Tried to force themselves into Armory, but the AK position too strong for the defense. So W7M not able to get onto match point yet, and M80 start this long and very strenuous journey up to hopefully overtime here for their sake.
Attackers have located a bomb.
W7M fail at the first attempt. But plenty more room to go here. However, the pressure, that little thought in the back of their mind of the fact that, well, we already messed this up on the first map is potentially starting to show up for them. It'll cause some worries, some potential hesitance to their actions. They cannot get locked in that mindset, have to focus now on shutting this down before M80 gets their own confidence back, and we start seeing crazy plays from them as well. Kino is already trying to wind up for one, of course, going on to the docks. We'll see what shenanigans he gets up to. Overall, bit of a different look here for M80 compared to what we got from W7M on the first half. And Echo coming into play on this one, and man, M80 just cannot win these early gunfights.
What the hell?
Where even is he?
Did he kill him all the way over in supply? What
Where's
did he
the
rip
corpse?
open? I don't see the corpse either here. It's got to be one of these doors, obviously. Is he on the...
It's not, no, it's not main stairs.
Not main stairs, not over here on supply.
Where the heck did he die?
Yeah, I thought he might have died on the main stairs window there as well, but it doesn't seem properly broken. It's so interesting. What the heck happened there? Either way, though, that is going to be Gomez going down. I'm sure we'll all see it in the reviews later on, but like you said, M80 cannot buy an opener here. Once again, down for the count, and not only that, W7M, they've removed a lot of the nuance from this round, John. You had the line and the Dokkaebi here, so the info game, very straightforward.
Yazami being removed kind of hurts things a little bit as well. They were going to build up a greater defensive presence in the mid-round with her additional barricades that she was going to get. No longer can that happen, of course. Head to rights inside of this round. Kino already trying to challenge the opening once. Will prompt him to quickly juice himself back up there. But does the swing come forward again? Indeed it does. JB92 is just sitting here, man. He's got the patience of a saint. We've already seen him deploy towards this in previous matchup, but Kino, no respect against him, as we actually had an EMP being chucked out there instead. So Kino gonna be able to grab JB92 here. Caught him in the middle of the animation. Fortunate timing indeed for JV92, but indeed he goes down, and that equalizes things.
All patience of a saint, but soft hands, brother. You got soft hands. Oh, wow. Well, DS, man, that's going to be a terrible way to wake up, ain't it?
He waited till he got off cams and everything, too.
That's unfortunate. That really brings you back to, like, 2000s gaming right there, right? And for the man to get off his kill streak, immediately kill him right after. W7M, they're making mincemeat out of this round, but now Spirits, that's a big kill. Has a long way to go, though. No logic bombs for KZ. He's waiting for the cross back. Remember, this is bar. Big plays here. W7M have got to clear out this top floor. Well, it's going to be very problematic for their plant going forward. This might be the angle.
Silence, it appears, up top here now as that plant comes in.
Oh, Yaga can't stop it.
Nope. The bar blocks it, unfortunately, so no way to work his way back into it. Flashes himself outside. W7M immediately shut down the retake. It never even really gets started as well. So there's going to be round number 6 up on the board here. Will they make an improvement on their map 2 scoreline as well? Just slowly but surely getting the hang of this 5-1 thing here as they're reducing the amount of rounds that M80 are picking up. It was 7-3 on the last map. They couldn't even handle it on map number 1, but this time looking like they're going to improve it potentially by 1 round. That is, of course, unless M80 comes together now in what could be their last defense in CCTV and cash.
Some very, very scary teams, it seems, from the choices that were to be made. W7M able to make it so very far here today. Looking just as strong on their 6th map as they did on their 1st, and looking to take said 6th map in 7-2 fashion. Some cheeky frost mats abound here for M80 inside of Garage. One up top on the rafters as well. We'll have the Dokkaebi work its way in again for KZ. Very successful, as well as, again, a patience play working out for W7M, as he just stood stalwart on that top floor. Didn't get too aggressive on the M80 member that was residing there. Just waited for them to try and rotate and stop that plant from going down. Works out extremely well.
Attackers
Always
are
with
moving
a
out to locate
fantastic recognition of the power positions around the map and the way to try and play for those. And it's really been giving M80 a big problem in this series.
W7M is going to brute force their way into this one with the Monty. Try to bully Spirits out of position and should be able to do that. However, we do have the frost mats in play from Gomez too, so that's more than likely going to slow things down. And indeed, we do have one of those frost mats in position on top of the garage staircase, so that is going to slow down the normal path that the Monty would take. However, we don't have confirmation that he's actually doing that just as of yet. He's brought the smokes this time, so not busy taking care of something on the other end of the map, just as we see finally resuming that position. And indeed, he's going to go for the crawl up those garage stairs, but we'll run into the obstacles that I was just describing a few seconds ago here. Spirits very confident in his hold now. Oh no! The trap works out, gets him high enough up to the top of the stairs. The impact comes out as well, decks him down to the ground.
Reload.
And with that, we are going to see the shots come in to finish things off there. Vault's dead. The Monty will not work out this time around here for W7M. And Julia quickly equalizing the situation, however, as he catches a very aggressive Yaga trying to peek out there at the construction window.
Pretty surprised that Yaga went back for the second punch on that window. W7M able to equalize because of that now. Herds, this might be the play right here, John. He's coming up cash stairs. There's not a single thing to stop him from doing this. No one's aware. The smoke is dead. He's up red. Can he get the players inside of construction? Though he can't. Has to be a flood in here from W7M, though. We need some activity going on. 3 versus 3. They're going to work their way in. Try and go up red stairs as well as another logic bomb pours in. They know that there's nothing on this position. Gomez has to try and stop this angle. He knows that the man is on the rappel. He'll take him out. Some shots in from KZ. Nice shots onto DS. He knows he's in the angle, knows he's in the corner. KZ, though, will get taken down. 1 versus 1. It's up to Julio. One of the longest standing players for Rainbow Six Siege. A hammer lifter in his own right. Does he go for the pickup onto KZ?
I have the info.
Has the ping. Has the stun. Oh, the shot. Spirits. He gets away with one. Another stun out. What's he going to do? How's he going to play off of this? He can rotate back in. He can go for this plant. So much time to play around this, John. Fate hangs in the balance for this squad. Julio tagged up. Nice shot from Spirits. Constantly delaying. Julio so strong. Oh, he's such an amazing player. Does not want to give this up. Here comes the swing. Spirits playing with it, flirting with disaster. Julio, he steps up. Here it comes. Back and forth. Spirits keeps M80 alive. W7M. Julio, he can't get it up against M80. He can't get it up against Spirits.
Spirits refusing to give up there, more importantly, refusing to fully commit to the peak. That's exactly what Julio wanted inside of the 1v1. They're going to out in the open for a direct gunfight, but Spirits smartly refuses to give him that, refuses to stop for even a single second there, and let his opponent get the train onto him. We saw that as well. Julio just panicking the one time he did try to swing out into the open there, not able to capture the spray. And with that, M80 once again survived for one more round. 3 to go in a row now, but they are on the path back. We'll see if they can make it the full distance, as they have another basement defense coming up here too.
Yeah, if that doesn't get your blood pumping, you might be a dead man. Be honest with you. 3 rounds to go for M80. And that round feeling like it was intended for main stage. W7M. So strong on this offensive side so far. M80, although they won the round, it was definitely one that was begrudgingly so. As W7M was able to fully exploit their red stairs. Not a single piece of utility lane on, no barbed wire, nothing to tell them what was going on, and it almost lost them the game.
So another opportunity for W7M to end it here and now. It has evaded them on the previous round. Set up for success, it seemed, as well, with the way they were able to play, but keep in mind, W7M had to scrap their way just to get to that position in the round to begin with here after losing their Montaigne earlier on, with a good play coming in from Gomez on the Azami. I think they'll roll much more slowly this time as well, with it being that bunker set up inside of the basement. W7M will just safety clear the upstairs floors, and once they get confirmation that we do indeed have a complete lack of a roam game, can focus up once again on opening up those hatches and all of the top-down angles, mainly from kitchen side, to deploy themselves to either site.
Well, Basement has been one of the favorite sites here when it comes to Clubhouse. I've been seeing quite a bit of play on it. 95 rounds entirely. Nice kill there from Herds as W7M trying to push themselves forward. Herds almost cleaning up Gomez as well. Kind of an aggressive look there. M80 giving over the goods in a certain sense. A lot of damage off to Gomez. I do not like this right now, John. This is starting to get very worrisome, especially after losing Yaga early on in that. We saw Yaga die inside of the previous round as the opening blood for W7M as well. So not working well for him. Spirit's trying to get that Electro Claw back in time, but really worried about the potential Mav holes being made and his demise because of that.
Especially on this site, you think that M80 would have caught on to the fact that W7M are really struggling to get those kind of late round entries and the mid-fight picks. That's the biggest reason why they've been dropping rounds so far on this attacking side. You think they want to try and abuse that and go hyper-passive here and just basically force them into the setup so they can win in similar fashion, but still trying to get a little bit adventurous here with their peaks, and as Stokes had mentioned, that's costed them and made this a little bit less secure of a position than they'd like to be in at this point in the round, of course, with Gomez being injured and Yaga being a non-factor now.
Well, with a minute remaining, how does this break down? We see W7M, case in hand of Julio. It's going to be on the Moto side. Blue player, that'll be KZ. He'll run the Gemini clone down here. Herds will more than likely wait for that. They'll hop in, they'll find one. A lot of damage off on Kino, but also a Lesion trap. One under the ankle of the M80, or rather W7M player. M80 now, though, stepping up to the plate. Drone in, it'll find Gomez directly under the kitchen hatch. A lot of damage coming onto him now as well. Oh, what a shot! Gomez opens it up for M80. He takes down Herds. And yes, as you said, John, this is a huge problem. Such low time for W7M, but they're starting to get the kills. They need a home for this plant, though, and that's where M80 can stop this. Lots of kills pouring in now. KZ down, Diaz and Gomez have to do something. Julio with the case, they have to find a home. He'll make it to the back of church. It's up to Diaz. They have to stop him. Defenders win it. How did he get it? How has he done this? I think it was an impact that injures him. It was indeed. Oh my, the Pokeball heard round the world to keep M80 alive.
W7M seem to have all the confidence in the world until they get to the site. Then it's a matter of one of their players picking up a kill or two and relying on a snowball from that point forward. If the players from M80 are able to deny that snowball outright, the site take just never happens for W7M. That's been a problem on all three maps so far. We have a pause coming in here, W7M calling it. Hopefully their coaches realize this is giving out the comms. You guys need to commit to the inside of these sites. Their hesitation has costed them so many rounds now, but let's take a listen.
Vamos fazer com o capitão e que a gente vai foder aquela porra toda lá. Vamos abrir o taco e virar pra lá. A gente pega outra coisa.
Quem consegue fazer capitão?
Você quer fazer dinheiro?
Ó, é caçada.
O cara se prende no dinheiro por 5 reforços. Ele vai estar preso lá. Tá. Abrir o taco e virar pra caçada. Vamos matar o Bait se ele estiver queimando. E guys, só joga em conjunto, mano. Se fuder, faz uma contagem todo junto.
Ó, eu pego o capitão de cozinha 9-2.
Mas você vai fazer capitão em quem? Isso que eu não tô entendendo. No dinheiro?
É, capitão de
Dinheiro que
cozinha.
o cara fica preso.
Ele fica preso lá.
Tira em cima e faz.
We'll come out of that pause. Obviously, again, in Portuguese, so we're not going to be able to scrape a whole lot from that. But hey, if any of you at home speak Portuguese, there you go. Plenty of info for you. As we get ourselves into the second to last round of regulation here.
I got it. He said win the game. You're welcome. I know.
Great insight.
Thank you.
I'm sure that came up at some point.
I'll be here all week. No worries. W7M, though, looking to try and fix some of the sins that they've been committing on this offense so far. They've been able to build up to an execution point, but don't have the galls to go for the full swing. Not willing to get in this fight with M80, and that's made it to where they've been able to fight back time and time again. That last round well within the right of W7M to take. But somehow Diaz still allowed to reside inside of blue in a pretty hotly contested position and get that impact off. A single person able to stop him in the process. Keeping M80 alive, only 2 rounds separate us here from overtime. This W7M out of the gates.
So W7M, see if they can finally get over this hesitation to commit to the inside of the site. If you're on the entry, you cannot be afraid to die here. If you are W7M right now, have to rely on your teammates, have to make sure that you have the confidence that they will trade you out. went out the rest of the round. This is especially concerning too when you consider the W7M are usually approaching these situations with a player advantage or at best even numbers. So you would certainly want them to try and risk throwing their lives in certain situations, but they've been very hesitant. As I said before, that has led into quite a few bad situations for them. Kind of fuse, of course. You just saw it be used there by JB92. Certainly not the expected choice operator in really any sense still. Snuck in a few times, of course, in the past. This is going to be one of them. Works perfectly fine when you consider that the site is played quite claustrophobically by the defense, but W7M do have to push M80 into those site positions first before the fuse charges will have a real effective amount of play, in my opinion.
Not one you see every day. Yaga going, what the hell is that?
And then a full nade just kills him out of nowhere.
That was so well struck from W7M. You saw the questions. You saw the quizzical face of Yaga. I mean, what is, oh, it's a few, I'm dead.
He's like, hasn't seen that thing in like 4 months. He had to think about it real quickly.
Yeah, that one does not process, especially because it used to be that they never went through hard breach.
Yep.
So very unique situation when that one's thrown at you nowadays. In perfect time for W7M. Clears out Cash, kills Yaga, and it wasn't even the fuse that really did it. It was a frag grenade in tow with it. The combo play there from W7M. Let's see if M80s can finish their Kane's chicken.
Move themselves forward. M80 with the 4-player hold now. This is the pivotal point here. This is where W7M has struggled to get past in all of their previous attacking rounds here. So if they can slay the next player or two from M80, like I said, the snowball effect will kind of take over past that point and give the rest of the team the confidence to move in. But someone's got to get that first strike kill. If we don't see it, and M80 keeps their own composure not to over-peak into any of these situations, then in all honesty, they should be able to hold it.
If they do the thing and they don't mess it up, it just works. Big kills from W7M. They're working the map. 20 seconds remain. They can most definitely do this, John. Stuns out Julio for the plant. Do they have the stop? Keno will take down KZ. He steps up. Plan will begin. Smokes in up against JV92. They see the ankle work. Diaz trying to hit him, but he can't stop him. Diaz, Julio goes down, but so does the plant. Diaz dead, and W7M get it done off the back of a fuse play through Cash.
It is one heck of a series between these two teams, but W7M excel both earlier against BDS to start their run in the upper bracket, knocking them down, fighting for survival, but now sending one of our top 1 group teams into the lower bracket as well. The buy advantage, unfortunately not taking M80 very far as they fall to their first opponent in the upper bracket, right into the lower bracket as W7M's run continues on to the semifinals.
Well, that means that W7M will be playing none other than Koi tomorrow. Well, actually Wednesday for our playoffs. So we'll have all of our lower brackets going on, I do believe, for tomorrow. But check your schedules just to make sure on all that. But that will be the matchup, W7M versus Koi, as M80 sent to the lower bracket here.
Not the result that they were looking to have happen, but really, what can you expect on M80's side when you go down 1-5, 3 maps running, just completely unable to get a handle? All 3 of those on attacks as well, if my memory serves me correctly there. So just M80 really, really struggling with their attacks. To be fair, similarly to W7M, both teams definitely probably going to want to go back and take a little bit of a look at that side tonight.